Hello, and everybody. If anybody is there, welcome. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat, and I will be happy to answer. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Great. Thanks, Brittany. So, my name is Mike Mitchell. I'm currently head of sales. Let me get out of the phone. I think I'm getting some echo here. Apologies. Let me fix that again. Oh, my goodness. There we go. Okay, let me start again. My name is Mike Mitchell. I am currently the head of sales with ethically.ai. We are a writing platform that looks to introduce AI into the writing process, both for students and for teachers, not in a way where we want AI to do the work for students or teachers, but in a way that scaffolds the experience. We believe um, writing is thinking, and writing is evidence of your thinking. And so, what we're really trying to do, as much as teach writing skills, we're also trying to do that by teaching thinking skills and organizational skills. I started my career as an elementary educator. I taught second grade for a number of years and then left the classroom and have been involved in education and ed tech really over the remainder of my career. I've worked at IBM, spent quite a bit of time at Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, was part of the original crew at good old Edmodo. If any of you remember that, I'm probably dating myself there a little bit. Also joined Newzella when it was very early on as a company, and it's been fun to watch Newzella grow over the years. Still a big fan of Newzella. Spent some time at Spotify, and then now, as I mentioned, I'm here with Ethically. So happy to chat. And if you're watching this maybe later, something like that, feel free to reach out to me by email. I'll be happy to answer questions. My email is mike.mitchell, Mitchell, at ethically.ai. And if you haven't, I'll give you a plug. Watch my session. I'm biased, of course, but I think it's pretty good. Kristen, great question in the chat. She's asking, in case you can't see her question, she's asking about how can ethically be used in kind of non-core classes and such as an elective class. And we actually have quite a few teachers exploring that with us. And One of the things we hear from teachers who are teaching something other than a writing class or a composition class is they often want to have their students writing about their subjects as well. Maybe that's art history, for example. Or I was recently speaking with an educator in North Carolina. He does a lot of elective classes that are much more kind of media related. And one of the cool things, or some of the feedback we're hearing, is that those teachers want to support teaching writing skills as well, and support what is going on in the writing classroom. And that's where they feel like ethically can really help, in that they don't have to necessarily feel like they are a writing teacher. One of the things our platform does is when a student submits a piece of work, some writing to the teacher, our AI will immediately take a look at that, look at the assignment that was given to the student, and then also any rubric that was assigned, and it will automatically generate feedback based on that. And so you, as the teacher, if you're a non-core teacher, you're going to be able to see all of that feedback. You have the ability to review everything before that feedback is actually seen by the student. We feel very strongly that teachers need to retain control even when AI is being used in the classroom. And so we've heard from a lot of kind of non-writing teachers that they like that our AI kind of gives them suggestions. They can add to that, edit that, tweak that, maybe tailor it more toward their subject matter before it goes off to the student. Oh, good question. So now Kristen is asking, Kristen, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, by the way. Another question she's asking is, how can this help students who are learning English? This is an area that actually we want to continue to build out quite a bit more within our platform. One of the features that I really like within our tool right now is we have a lot of brainstorming tools. You know, when you start a writing assignment, and I think this is true whether you're an adult or a student, and you've got that kind of dreaded blank screen, right? And the word for that, by the way, is scriptophobia. If you kind of tense up a little bit and you're not sure how to get started, that's scriptophobia. And so we have a lot of brainstorming tools built in where our AI will try to help a student get started. One of my favorite ones, especially for students who are still learning English, we have a tool called we have a tool that's called Talk to Your Buddy. And literally what students do is they click on the microphone and they just think out loud. They think out loud, they think about whatever they know about the assignment that they're given. Our AI will listen to them, it will transcribe whatever they've said, and then it will give them feedback, again, based on the assignment itself. And so one of the things we're hearing is that, especially for English language learning students, sometimes that's an easier way for them to start, is just to talk about it. Even if they're doing that with somewhat limited vocabulary, it helps them get started. And that's really one of the things we're hearing from students, is many of them, they just need to kind of help getting over that initial nudge to get going. And then once they get going, then they can start writing. We want to take that even further, though. We want to build in more to that tool so that it can do more with a student's native language, and then help kind of guide them into translating that into English writing along the way. Great questions, Kristen. By the way, I want to make sure I mention, right now we are giving any educator access to our platform. And so if you want to try it out, you are more than welcome to. You can email me directly if that will help you. I can help you get set up. And that's totally free. There's no charge for that at this time. All we ask in return is that you give us your feedback, your honest feedback, good and bad. What do you like about the platform that we've built so far, and where could we improve? So, Kristen, you, anybody who may be watching this either now or later, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to get you set up so you can try it out yourself. Great questions. Yeah, Brittany, scriptophobia, that's a word I learned fairly recently too. And so, um, the dreaded fear, it actually kind of has a double meaning. It means both kind of the fear of the blank page and also fear of kind of writing in a public kind of way where maybe people are watching you write. So it kind of has a dual thing. Yes, we are compliant, and we actually take student data privacy very seriously. Most districts now have student data privacy agreements, and if your district does, we are happy to sign those. Generally, as I'm talking with districts, if they don't bring it up, I will, because again, we feel like it's very, very important. There are several states now where a state often has kind of a shared student data privacy agreement. California, Illinois, and Arizona are some examples of that where we have those in place with districts already. And so if you happen to be a teacher in any of those states, your district can just piggyback off of the agreement we've already got in place with districts in those states. And that just makes that process a little bit easier. But yes, we take that very seriously. We've got our privacy policies published on our website so that people can refer to those. But that's very key for us, especially with AI. Related to that, if a student is under the age of 13, we're going to ask that they have the proper permissions in order to get their account started and all of that. So that's another way we try to comply with those laws. Great question. We are a fairly new company. We've been around for right about 24 months or so. Spent a lot of time over the initial start of our company, really just talking with teachers, talking with administrators, talking with students about writing and writing instruction. We firmly believe that we want to build our product based on feedback from our stakeholders, which are again educators and students primarily. Right now, for example, I've been reaching out to many of our current users, asking them specifically about rubrics and getting a lot of feedback from them about how they currently use rubrics in their classroom. What do they like about that? What do they wish they could do better? How could we make their life easier when it comes to rubrics? And so that's really our design approach, is to we really view educators especially as co-designers with us. And that's part of the reason why, especially right now, we're giving people access. And again, all we ask is that they give us feedback in return. I'm really excited for this virtual conference. There's some great sessions. Actually, it was fun when I looked over the list of presenters. Several of the teachers who are on the agenda over the next day or so actually are teachers who are using our platform. So I'm going to make a special effort to try to attend their sessions and their chats and all of that to support them. But it was fun to go down the list of presenters and see several names that I recognize as people who are using our platform as well. So it's kind of fun. And click on these other tabs just to make sure I'm not missing any questions here. Okay, looks like not. I think I finally got the hang of how to navigate all of this. So again, if you haven't already and you are interested, please reach out to me and we can get you set up. And if there are other colleagues, either in the school that you teach at or within your district, that you think might also be interested in trying our platform, my attitude is the more the merrier. We have schools and educators in about 26 different countries around the world trying our platform right now and giving us feedback. One of the things that's really interesting to me is to learn about how not only teachers here in the US are are looking at writing and written expression, but also then compare that with other educators and other schools around the world. In many cases, our more global users are often using our platform as part of courses that are teaching those students to be proficient in English. And in many cases, kind of the ultimate goal of those programs is so that once those students, go through high school, they will be prepared and ready to perhaps attend university here in the United States. When we initially developed the initial version of our platform, in our mind, we kind of thought middle school, high school probably might be the area with the most interest. And that has been true, but we have been really pleasantly surprised at how much interest there is also at the elementary level. Again, I was an elementary teacher, so I take a particular interest in that. But then also at the higher ed level, especially with community colleges, we're seeing a lot of interest there, especially maybe for students who have been away from education for a while. They're maybe later, in their career, they're an adult learner. They're now coming back to take some college classes, and they feel a little rusty, frankly, with how to do academic kinds of writing. And so a lot of universities are starting to use us as a way to help those students kind of brush up on some of their writing skills. So really cool to watch it all happen. So again, let me do this. I will put my email in the chat. So again, feel free to email me if you have other questions or you think about something later or even during the course of this conference. I'll be happy to answer those. And then if you want to go to our website, let me also put in our URL as well. So you'll have that. So I'm posting that here now. One thing I will say before I forget, one of the things we are doing with our AI is we are training it to learn about both the students and the teachers as as they use our platform. And so, an example of that, I was talking with a middle school teacher in Pennsylvania about a week or so ago, and she has been very focused in her classroom on getting her students to give more specific supporting details and doing direct citation and quotes from whatever the source material is to back up their statements. And so, in a lot of the feedback that she was adding to her students while they're doing writing assignments using our platform, it was very focused on that. On you need more detail, you need to cite evidence, and she noticed after she started continuing to do some assignments that our AI started to pick up on that. And in the recommendations that it was generating, the recommended feedback for her to give to students, it started to key in on that, and it started to nudge students to give more detail. So that's part of what we're trying to do on the student side. Same kind of thing. Our AI is being trained so it will learn a student's voice. We all kind of have a writing voice and a writing style. Our AI will try to learn that over time, and then over time it can use that to be more detailed in the feedback that it generates for a student. So we're trying to build this in such a way that the AI learns and it can kind of help nudge a little bit. But ultimately, what we really want to do is do all of this in a way that, frankly, hopefully frees up an educator's time so that an educator can spend more time doing this, having kind of actual dialogue with their students. That's really the number one thing we heard from teachers is they just wish they had ways in the craziness of the typical school day to be able to talk more one-on-one with students, that human to human connection. And so ultimately that's what we're really trying to do with our AI is do things in a way that can free up a teacher so that a teacher can do what they really want to do. And it's just have that human connection with a student, because that, we believe, is where inspiration happens. And then ultimately that's where motivation happens. And that leads to learning. And that's the name of the game. And so that's ultimately what we're really trying to get to. And hopefully that theme came out if you've watched my presentation. That's what we're trying to do. We think it's important. So I think I am almost out of time for my chat. I will just say again, if you're watching this now, or you're looking at this later, thank you for everything that you do. I'm biased. Again, I was a teacher, but I think being a teacher, educating students, it's noble work. And in the day-to-day craziness of things, I think it can be hard to you can lose sight of that if you're not careful. But what you're doing is cool and important and good work, and there are a lot of us out there who are cheering you on. And so, as a teacher, I want you to remember that I truly value what you do. So, thank you, and happy Friday, or as I call it, Fry-yay, and enjoy the rest of the conference. Let me see if there are any other questions before I think my time is up. Okay. Take care, everybody.